All right, so our simulation's all done here. We have all these little boxes, again, which I started talking about earlier. Those are all just little box full of particles. So you can kind of get a very rough idea of where the particles are in our sim from looking at that. But there's a more robust preview mode we can do, which is simply using the same node that we're about to use to surface to actually make those polygons. We can also go to particle fluid surface here and say, before we even hook it up, I could say convert to particles and hook that up into here, and then to visualize velocity, and we'll have that kind of blue to light to white look. So let's make a quick play blast or flip book of this. I'll never not say play blast apparently. So what's the interesting thing here is, instead of our previous sims where we just looked at the raw output of the flip solver, we can see here we're only getting the surface layer. That's okay. When we want to make our surface, when we want to generate our polygons, we only ever really care about the surface. Everything else below the surface is implicitly filled in. We have that surface volume, and we still have it cached even here, as you can see. Whoop, there it is, surface. So when it comes time to create our polygons, we have that information, and it'll just fill all that in, the walls of it anyway, with polygons. In a way, it's going to create a volume from these points too, then just combine it with the existing surface volume, and then create an overall polygon mesh from that. But we didn't have to store all of these millions, literally, of points underneath the surface for no reason. So here's our sim in any case. We can see from the velocity smoothing that it gets a little bit stringier, but not too bad. We don't have any individual points that are on their own flying around ballistically, meaning that they are just moving based on their own velocity and they're too small to get stamped into the flip's velocity grid. That can happen also. The velocity smoothing is often just nice to just kind of tame things, not quite as crazy, but we could still see there's a lot of motion here. We didn't increase velocity smoothing by that much. So this is okay. So this is a good final result. Let's stop talking about it and let's turn it into a bunch of polygons.